Okay, if you are watching this, it is because you need to take the assessment on size and scale. Remember, our power standard here is, as an astronomer, I can use data about objects in the solar system to figure out how their relative size and scale impact their properties. Because if we don't understand where we are, we can't figure out where to go and how to get there. So that's kind of our focus. So first off, you're going to answer these questions. They're multiple choice. Just circle the correct answer. And then if you are in the classroom with your science teacher, you're going to get it stickered and check it before you move on. If you're not in the classroom with a science teacher, you're going to have to just move on after that. Then you have two different chunks here. Remember, we've been practicing the skill of using data to support our claims with this. So your first one says pick a unit and identify a situation in which that unit would be the best unit to use. Identify which unit would not work well in the same situation. Use specific evidence from the data table below to defend your choice. Remember, cite your choice, don't summarize it. So you're going to say where you want to measure from, and then which unit you would use. Another way to attack it is lots of students chose which unit they wanted to talk about and circled that, and then said what they would use it to measure from and to. And then identify why that would be the best unit to use. Make sure you're using data from this chart, that you actually have quantitative or numerical numbers embedded in numerical data or numbers embedded in your answer. Then tell me which one would be a terrible unit to use and why. And again, defend that claim with evidence from the chart. For example, if you were going to measure the height of a person, let's say these are different heights of a person. If you were going to measure the height of a person, you would want to use meters because you get an easy number to use. Here's an example of that. And you wouldn't want to use miles because you get like this crazy number. So notice in this example, you have the numbers embedded in there. Now, don't obviously on your assessment, don't talk about a person's height because you don't even have that data on yours. All right, so that's one part of it. And then this little scale at the bottom shows you how to achieve the score that you want. For a 3, you need the appropriate unit selected, and your response needs to correctly identify at least one quantitative appropriate piece of data from the table and adequately explain why it's important. I would use 2 pieces of data to make sure that at least you're nailing it on one of those. Then on the back, this one's a little bit trickier. It's not tricky at all, actually. It just requires a little more defense of your thinking. It says, it has been argued that if conditions on Earth become too harsh for humans to survive, we could colonize an exoplanet. Now remember, an exoplanet is a planet that is orbiting a star that is not our sun. So these are really far away. They're not within our solar system. So if some people are claiming we can just go to one of those because we found lots of planets that might be Earth-like orbiting stars other than our sun, given the current technology, is that a realistic claim? Use specific data from this table to defend your choice. Remember, cite the data, don't summarize it. You have to include numbers in your evidence. So you're actually going to use numbers from here. If you prefer to use numbers from this page that we used in class, if you have access to it, great. If not, you've got plenty of information in this data table here, or you can use information in this data table as well. But you do need to cite specific evidence. So you're going to either make the claim that with our current technology it is realistic to think we could get a manned spacecraft to an exoplanet to evacuate Earth, or it is not. So you're looking at actually taking pieces of information out of here. It might be the maximum speed of the spacecraft, it might be the speed of light, it might be the distance to Proxima Centauri or Jupiter or anything else like that. So something in here, evidence that supports your claim that it is or isn't realistic, and then the meaty part, what it means and why it's important. Again, the scale is down here. Don't worry about this. This is for your science teacher to score your response. So hopefully you're going to rock it. Make sure you show all your good thinking on this, because if you do really well on this assessment, then you don't have to take this assessment again later on. Good luck.